What's up, everybody? Welcome to the video. My name is Ivan. I'm an emergency medicine doctor. For anyone new here, we take our experiences in the hospital, in life, and just take away the deeper lessons. Today's lesson and the video title is titled, Your Field Has All the Lessons That You Need Within It. So let me explain. I was doing some reflection, right? And this is like my first year being a doctor. And the first year being a doctor is interesting, right? Because you have to learn a new hospital system. You have to learn how to treat patients. You have to learn a new team of people, nurses, other doctors, other specialties, students. So it's like a weird, interesting learning position, right? And some days are hard, some days are less hard. Some days are tough, some days are fun. But every day you learn something, right? And as I was reflecting on my first year, I realized that I'm in the right place. And when I say that, it's for a very specific reason, right? I realized that medicine has all the lessons that I would ever need for my self-development nested in this one field. So how might that be, right? Let me explain. So in being a doctor, you have to understand a lot of things. You have to understand one science, right? You have to understand the human body. You have to understand cells. You have to be able to sell a medication to a patient, sell a treatment, sell an intervention, sell an admission to another service. You have to be able to understand psychology. You're only dealing with people in stressful situations, life or death situations. You have to understand cultures, right? You have to understand there's thousands of different people that you see throughout your time. So you have to learn different cultures because different cultures accept or deny certain treatments, right? Then you have to understand relationships. You see a lot of people at the end of their life. So you see like interactions between husband and wife, mom and dad, dad and kids, kids and mom, kids and grandma. So you understand these family dynamics very intimately and thinking about how you're going to treat these different people. And then you have to also understand the law. Like the truth is there's a lot of people that come in under custody, under police custody. They come in with the detectives wanting to understand the story. A lot of people come in after being shot, so you have to understand the law. So these all these different avenues intersect in the job of a doctor. So I'm going to go through each one of them individually and tell you the things I've learned about these different intersections. But the moral of the video is that like this only helps with your self-development. You learn so many different things. You're put in so many different situations that like you're forced to grow, and the field is doing its work on you. So I'm doing my work helping patients, but the medicine itself is also helping me grow. So let's just start from the beginning. Science, right? Being a doctor is so rigorous, right? The training is long. You go through medical school, you go through residency, then you become an attending, but you also had college before that in high school. So you've been learning science for so many years, but there's levels to understanding, right? I used to understand electrons and charges and ions and chemistry and biochemistry, but seeing how drugs are formulated now brings us to a more real life perspective. So the understanding of science, understanding of the human body, I understand now like why if one organ malfunctions, why that affects another organ. So there's like a better and more close connection with an organ. I think that it's honestly in everyone's interest to at least take a course or read a book about just how the body works, because we're all driving these cars, which is our human body, without knowing how it works, without knowing how it operates, without knowing how air affects your lungs, and how if you live in an area where there's a lot of pollution, you'll get asthma, right? If you turn on your heater, if you turn on your stove to heat your house during the winter, you're gonna get carbon monoxide poisoning, which can affect your hemoglobin. People don't know this, right? If you eat certain foods, you're gonna get effects to your digestive organs, right? You're gonna get constipation after eating certain foods. Some foods will give you diarrhea. Some foods will affect your gallbladder. People don't know these things, right? If you walk barefoot in snow, you're gonna get frostbite, and if it gets severe enough, you can actually get your toes amputated. So someone was told me that we suffer for a lack of knowledge. Like in this world, what you don't know will affect you, right? So not knowing how to use that vessel, not knowing how to use that vehicle has significant consequences. As a kid, no one likes to brush their teeth, and we all like to eat candy. And I used to do that as well. But I went to the dentist recently, and I'm like, wow, like if you get an infection in your teeth, an abscess in your teeth, that infection could spread to your heart. That infection could eat your valves of your heart. So there's so many different dangerous things, right? But because we don't know the vessel that we're driving, we don't know how to understand our human body, we miss out on these lessons, right? So one is the understanding of science, understanding of health, understanding of disease, understanding of health in particular to like eating to stay alive, eating to stay fit, knowing how to work your body out, knowing how to exercise. So that's the first lesson. Then it sells. Everything, guys, in life is sells, right? All the world is just a bunch of people in a room selling something, and you have to learn how to be likable. The next skill set is likability, right? You deal with so many different people across different cultures. How do you get someone to like you? And I'll give you my secret weapon, right? The secret lesson I've learned is knowing how to take yourself out of the equation, focusing on the other person. What do they most need out of this interaction? And being able to see the other person, remembering a name, remembering a birthday, remembering a family member or loved one's name, remembering a significant event in a person's life, and seeing from their perspectives, asking them exactly what they want out of this visit, what is a problem that's most pressing to them, and helping solve that problem. And then being honest, right? Not bullshitting, just being honest with them. This is sales, right? You're selling yourself to a patient. When you come into a room, you have to be fly. You have to smell good. You have to have a nice appearance. You have to have clothes that are fitting well because it builds trust, right? And not to be shallow, but appearance is important. So this is another thing, right? All these things combine into sales. Then there's psychology, right? Human nature is the next thing, right? How does a human being act under stress, right? Under stress, we have these responses where we turn off our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain here that works with logic, with rational thinking, with understanding gets turned off, and our hindbrain turns on, our fight or flight system. So when someone is in the emergency room and they're nervous, they haven't heard about their family member, they get nervous, they get angst, and everything is seen as a threat to them. So you have to learn how to mitigate threats. How do you mitigate a threat, right? You have to let the person vent the anger, let them vent their emotion. Whenever someone is frustrated at you, you don't say, hey, calm down. That's like the worst thing you can say. But listen to their story. Let them vent the emotion. There's something that hasn't been heard. Empathize. Okay, sir, I see that you're frustrated because the medication for your mother came by an hour later. Is that so? And like, yeah, I'm frustrated about that. I'm also frustrated I haven't had anything to eat. So you say, okay, now you ask questions. Okay, you're frustrated that you haven't had anything to eat and the mother's medication came late. So it seems like you're frustrated because you and your mother are both being neglected. See, I'm getting to the root of the issue. So I listen, I empathize, I ask questions, I paraphrase what the person was saying, and I summarize and I provide solutions. So what do you think we should do here as a medical team to help you and your mother out? Right? What do you best think would serve you guys best? So learning how to deal with a human being under stress, under duress. This is psychology, right? Understanding different interests. Like sometimes you have a team where you have nurses and you have doctors, and sometimes a nurse may be going through something in her personal life, and for some reason she's late on the labs. Like you have to understand these people so that you can understand exactly why the work is falling off, right? So it's just your leadership capability, but it's so important. The psychology of people, the psychology of incentives, right? Rewarding people. The hospital rewards us with annual resident spotlight days or nurse appreciation week. People look forward to these things because it's an incentive. It forces them, it makes them want to work harder. So incentives, then different cultures. Oh my goodness. Understanding different cultures is so crucial because in certain cultures, and let's just say African-American culture, sometimes it's normal to talk with a louder tone, right? It's just a form of expressing themselves. I grew up in the inner city in Minnesota. I've understood this, right? But some of my colleagues may not understand this. They may see that as aggression, but the person is just being passionate. So you have to understand that culture. Some cultures are more docile, more subtle. Some cultures are more respect driven, right? You have to treat them with respect. Sometimes you have a patient that is, let's say, from the Islamic world, and the wife is a patient, the husband is in the room. You go in to shake the wife's hand. She looks at you nervously because in her culture, that's not acceptable, right? So you have to understand these different cultures. You look at a person's name, and even looking at the last name, you can see that, oh, this person's last name is Ski or Ska, has a SKI or SKA. This is a Polish person, right? Or someone from a place in like Russia or something, right, may have a different last name. So understanding how to look at different last names and seeing where a person's from, so you can actually kind of understand their culture. Then asking questions that you don't know, right? So some cultures have a lot of shared decision making. Some cultures want to present all the information to the entire family to create a decision. Some cultures are more autonomous. Understanding cultures is the name of the game. Then the next thing is understanding the law, right? You have to understand the patient's rights, right? When they come in under police custody, like what are the patient's rights? When they come in after being shot, right? We have to be able to treat them first before the police can come in and get their story. So there's just so much understanding that you have to know in medicine. And this is why I think it's the best career for me, because it works on me. And if you're at home, if you're interested in medicine, or if you're not interested in medicine, but you're interested in law, law has the same thing, right? Law is an understanding of people's rights. It's an understanding of different cultures. It's an understanding of financial incentives. It's an understanding of the law in the US, the history of the law. It's the same thing. Plumbing is the same thing. Plumbing obviously is a skill set, right? It's understanding of the plumbing system in a house, but it's also an understanding of how a house is built, understanding of people and relationships and understanding of pay schedules and payment plans and these things. So these things all help you. So whether you're a lawyer, doctor, accountant, shopkeeper, florist, barista, your field, whatever you're doing right now, has so many lessons, and you can't hate your plight, right? If you're in a field that you want to pivot out of, like you're a barista, but you actually want to be a cook, right? Like you can't hate that you're not a cook yet. You have to enjoy whatever you're going through right now, enjoy the lessons, and know that like as you keep working, you're gonna get to that destination. So I know I said a lot, but I hope I got my message across. You want to use your job to level up your character. And those are the ways that I'm doing it in medicine, and you can as well. Also, one thing I forgot to say, like a good thing I'm realizing this year is like language. I speak French naturally, right? French is my first language, but I also speak English. But then I'm learning Spanish, and learning Spanish is cool because you get to communicate to people across barriers, right? Communicate to them in their own language. And it's just damn cool when someone comes in and they're saying, "Hola, señor, ¿cómo está? Me llamo Esteban, soy el doctor, soy el médico." Right? And they're like, "Oh my God, you speak Spanish." It's just cool. You can ask them questions about their physical exam and questions about their family, and they feel like just connected with you. So language is like the number one thing that I'm learning this year. But language is cool because you have a personality in every other language. Like myself in French is different than myself in English. I'm still Yvonne. I still like to be funny and comical and enjoy myself, but it's different. And myself in Spanish I'm learning is also different than myself in English and French. So life is a process of just ultimate self-development. So see that everything you're doing right now has all the lessons for you, guys, and I think that's the lesson. See you later. Bye.